this time, because the shutdown is happening, and to be honest with you, it will probably get negotiated way quicker than I want. But because the shutdown is happening, this is the time where Trump can absolutely dismantle a lot of the establishment. Here's how. We're going to go through it today because his leaders of some of his budget and managing boards of the OMB and some of these budgeting offices that work with Trump that really want to see his vision come to fruition, this is how they can do it, because ultimately shutdowns take place, people get furloughed, people get laid off. Now he can do his way with some of these organizations and some of these government offices that are just wasting our taxpayer dollars. Wait till you hear what I believe, and I believe what Russ Vaught and some of the ones in the OMB office is going to be doing over the next few days, especially if this shutdown keeps on going, and I hope it absolutely does. Wait till you hear the numbers that what China's doing because of AI growth, because of government intervention. They're saying that pretty much they're wanting an AI platform to run all businesses and government, and the only people that won't be allowing AI to run it will be funded with the government assistance, meaning we just have a complete and utter system dependency on AI and government. That's exactly what Democrats want. Wait till you hear what they want to spend the money on. Also, we're going to discuss school lunches in Walmart. Again, we want these things to support the narrative of what Trump is doing, and they believe that. That's what we want. We don't want them just to say, well, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, and then the next president comes in and then they change all policies. Look at Netflix. I don't like Netflix. I'm glad they're getting boycotted, but at least they're going all in on the leftist ideology. Ben & Jerry's, leftist ideology. Walmart came out and said, we're going to support RFK's platform. School lunches in 5 to 7 states so far have said, you know, we're going to take in the RFK initiative. Now, to be honest with you, why in the world are we wanting our kids eating crap food anyway? And why in the world are we wanting to support places like Walmart in getting us preservatives in our body that's carcinogenic? So I love the fact that they're turning back to normalcy, but sadly we should have never got off the path of normalcy. We're going to discuss our food once again because of the recalls yesterday and what RFK is doing to clean this up. I love what's going on here. And then lastly, we're going to end with a few quotes from our founding fathers on the cusp and the precipice of a shutdown. I believe we need this shutdown, and I'm going to allow our founding fathers to say why. We started this country for freedom, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness and faith and family. That's really all it was. Independence. And sadly, we've lost that. Let's discuss all this and a few more stories. Let's dive in. Yes, welcome to our channel. Thank you so very much for being here. Now, you hear I'm absolutely on farm. I used to do old vlogs. If you go back 2 or 3, 4 years ago on this channel, most of my filming was in the field. So you hear the roosters, you hear the hogs, and you hear the cattle. It's just part of living on the farm. So we try to take that away sometimes with going into the pantry or the back porch. But to be honest with you, this is who we are. We're farmers, we're sustainable livers, and we want independence and freedom. Now, before we jump into these stories, remember, it's the first of the month. We do a giveaway each and every month. So I'm going to give you an opportunity to have 2 different giveaways this month. You need to subscribe to the channel for September. Basically, I'm going to give you till today to subscribe to both channels, Life of Colby Mack and The Max. If you subscribe to those channels and you comment on them and you give us a thumbs up, we see that in our analytics. We put you in a random drawing to get something and get a prize from us. It's free, it's no cost to you. We send it out, and a lot of people get shirts, they get soaps, they get promotional items, all kinds of big packages, sometimes worth hundreds of dollars. So please make sure you are subscribed to those and you'll be entered in that giveaway. Now, if you want to be entered into a second giveaway, if you go over to Facebook or Twitter and start following us there, basically Colby Mack or The Colby Mack on both platforms, Facebook and Twitter. If you follow us on there, you're entered into a second giveaway for the same things, a lot of items that we would love to send to you. So make sure you are following us over there, comment on one of the pictures, that way we know that you are entered, and that way we can give these giveaways tonight and they'll go out tomorrow. So make sure that you're an entered. Now let's get to the stories because that's why you're here today. First, let's talk about the shutdown and why I believe this is a good thing. Now, the Democrats, let me tell you the Democrat platform. Now they're going to try to spin this. You hear this on MSNBC, CNN, and Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries are trying to spin this in a way that says, well, you know, it's actually the Republicans doing this. Well, that's incorrect. Actually, what this is Democrats are pushing for Medicare for all. Now they say, here's what, like Ro Khanna, some of the ones that are progressive progressive, but they tend to, like Fetterman, they tend to try to play along with the Republicans on some things, and they're a little bit more honest. But he said, well, it's only about 10% that we're wanting to go to that. We have what we call, a Medicare plan to where if people come in the hospital and they don't have any coverage, like illegal immigrants, they get coverage. Now, do I want people to not have coverage if someone is ill? No. I mean, I want them to have coverage. But here's the thing. We shouldn't be condoning you living here free of charge and then getting our free health care. Because I don't know about you, my health care monthly note comes out every month at the very first of the month, actually on the 3rd. So tomorrow I have a lump sum money of a lot of thousands of dollars coming out of my check to cover the health care of my children and myself. And we're healthy individuals and eat healthy and have healthy benefits. Now, you tell me, how is it fair that I have to do, pay for mine, but then also pay for everyone else under this Medicare for All plan? So what the Democrats are wanting is they're wanting to expand that. It's like a $1.5 trillion expansion. We don't have that money. We don't have that money. But for some reason, the Democrats believe that we should be paying for everyone else to have health care. Why don't we quit condoning people living here illegally and start sending people back? Now, let's go to the plan of people who are already on Medicare and Medicaid and some of the people that need to go to the emergency room and don't have coverage. Do I believe we should serve them? Absolutely. Do I believe that we should make better plans for health insurances and health initiatives and making sure that we're doing all we can for people to have knowledge to not go without some kind of plan? Yes. But to be honest with you, expanding government, which is what Democrat wants, is not the answer. Obamacare did not help any situation. It, quote unquote, granted coverage, but here's the thing. They are over your coverage, meaning they set what you can and cannot have under your plan. If you had a certain doctor and all that, you remember all those talks, you may not be covered anymore. Or you had to go to a certain doctor. What it is government getting too big. So this whole shutdown situation, I hope Trump will have not only the backbone, but have the say above the Republicans. Because people like Mike Johnson, John Thune, they're weak. They're so weak. And I'm scared they're going to kowtow to this shutdown because they're going to feel pressure, quote unquote pressure, from all sides. If they really want to have the trust of the American people, they should hold this shutdown now. Why? Why should we keep this shutdown going? Not only because, we shouldn't do continuing resolutions. Even though the clean ones are clean, they still have tons of debt. Though we should go back to pre-pandemic spending, not 2019 spending, then we'd be in a surplus. But I digress. What the Republicans are saying is, look, we don't want any new spending. What Trump is saying, I don't want any new spending. But what this is doing because of the shutdown, this plays right in the hand of Russ Vought and the OMB and the people of the Trump administration. Massive layoffs are going to be taking place in furloughs. I don't want people to lose their jobs. But if you work for government and the government's too inflated, and we know that, the government agencies that are overly getting funds and they're wasting, this is the time to start cutting some of that red tape and getting some of these people fired. Trump warned this. He said, Schumer, if you shut this down, we're going to start firing. Mass layoffs and mass firings. Well, Schumer chose to do that and chose to basically hold the bill up, which I'm totally fine with because it benefits the Republicans now, because what conservatives could do right now is start cutting some of these jobs. I want to bring up something that was shared on All In, and then Elon reposted it. The NGOs, the government pays the NGOs. The NGOs are funding California. Listen to this number, and this shows you that government is way too big, and this is why we need this shutdown. For every homeless person in California, there's a grant or an opportunity of money, influx of money, that's around a $900,000 amount per homeless person. So what Elon Musk was saying with this situation, he reposted, he said this is absolutely true. What they're doing is why they don't want homelessness to stop is because if they have homelessness, California gets more federal money to take quote unquote care of the homeless. Now they're not taking care of the homeless. What is actually happening is this government money is funneling into NGOs. These NGOs are doing portion payments to these homeless encampments, but ultimately they're keeping a ton of this money. So it's just another money laundering scheme. This is happening with certain defense contractors. This is happening with certain government agencies that funnel money to energy companies and all this green junk. If you remember, the Biden administration spent like $200 or $300 billion on this solar farm that never got built. California, they spent a few billion on this bullet train that was never actually finished. See, this is what happens when we have frivolous spending and then nothing actually comes of it. Chapter has been a big part of our sponsorship and our promos for the last 6 months. I usually don't do that unless I start seeing testimonials come back to seeing people really thriving off something that we are promoting and that we have used personally. Now, Chapter is something that I've never used because of my age. I've used a lot of the other things that we promote. And again, I want you to make sure you're getting good quality things when we discuss ads. Here's the thing. Chapter has helped way more people than a lot of my other sponsorships because people are in need of help when it comes to Medicare. Now, open enrollment is literally right now. It's coming up. It is here at the year end. And if you're 65 and older or about to be, or you're worried about if you're getting the right plans, the right supplements, are you doing okay? Are you spending too much money? Call this number below. Chapter is here to help you. They walk you through for free, $0, personally help you find the right plans. The average person who uses Chapter saves $1,100. Please go check them out. Even the sheep agrees you need to check Chapter out today and make sure you are getting the best bang for your buck when it comes to being older and Medicare coverage, because Chapter can help. Check with Chapter today. The number's below. I promise you, this 15-minute call could save you hundreds of dollars, if not thousands. Now, Ro Khanna came out, and some of the Republicans came out and said, well, look, what Trump is trying to do, and this is why we don't want the shutdown, is because we've allocated this money, and Trump thinks he could just not send it out. Well, here's why. This is why I told you Congress is absolutely the problem. The money that they appropriated is the government waste. So what Trump is saying is we've got to quit spending this money. And what they're saying, what Democrats and even rhinos are saying, well, look, we've already allocated this money to be wasted. We might as well just go ahead and pay it to the waste. That's what they're saying. Is that not mind-blowing to you? That's why Doge didn't work. That's why Elon said the government is broken, because these congressmen and Senate get so much money that it allows them to keep on spending and blowing and giving all your tax dollars away. And now they're wanting to expand it. This government shutdown is not only to cover all the losses and all the extra spending that we're doing, like the $900,000 per homeless person in California, it's giving another $1.5 trillion to illegal immigrants to cover their cost of living and health care. Now you tell me, why do you believe that this government shutdown is a good thing, Colby? Because we have no money. Gold has hit an all-time high again. Listen, I'm just going to stop the video right here just for a second. If you've not bought gold, you need to buy gold. Gold is fixing to hit $4,000. It's like $3,900 right now. Highest it's ever been. I started buying gold when it was like, $1,400, $1,500, and I was thinking, I'll probably cap out of $1,600, $1,700, $1,800. Boy, was I wrong. And so the same thing. People are trying to find ways to make sure that their money is safe because government is wasting so many dollars. That is the dollar safe. So you need to be buying gold for sure. I love the fact that we're doing the shutdown. We need it. We need it. Because we need to start having massive firings, massive layoffs, and people finding other jobs. Now, China. I want to read this to you because this is just kind of unbelievable to me. 95% of all of China by 2030, China government wants 95% of everything moving, every factory, every job have a 95% basis of AI coverage. The other 5% was going to be people who basically work for the government or are a part of the government to make sure everything is running smoothly. So you see that kind of plan. That's what I'm scared of is coming here. And when we talk about government expansion, what I laugh about is we talk about China being our biggest enemy. The Democrat Socialist plan, like Mamdani and like Ro Khanna and these Democrats are pushing, where Medicare for all, you're becoming China, where all we're wanting to do, we're talking about how bad they are, but we're absolutely becoming that because we're allowing government to grow too big. And if all of a sudden government keeps on growing, 50% of Americans are depending on government right now, as in paychecks, payroll, pensions, government plans, all that. Over 50% of Americans are already using government subsidies and plans. They said if we see Medicare for all go, if we see government expansion, that could easily go to 75%. If all of a sudden we see AI start taking jobs and start pushing people out of the workforce, and we keep expanding government, what have we done? We've built a socialist, communist society where we're getting Congress and Senate wasting all our money, giving it to everybody else. Mamdani's plan. He is absolutely tearing up everyone in New York, and here's his plan. He wants to overtax the white neighborhoods, overtax the more affluent people, which is, they said, millionaires, billionaires. He wants to take and tax extra for all businesses that are successful. So he wants to take, again, more money and give to these places to give them free health care, free bodegas, free grocery stores, and all this other free stuff. Give, free. That sounds good, but someone has to pay for it. Nothing is ever free. And that's what I don't understand when people back the Democrat platform or they back the establishment platform. This is your tax dollars going to waste. You wonder why inflation's high, groceries are high, food's high. It's because we keep spending money frivolously and giving it to someone. When we give money to someone, that costs someone else. There's no such thing as printing free money. It's either going to be inflation and cost you, or someone is going to be taken from. So this plan that China is doing is exactly how the Democrats want to do. And that's why I go back to saying the shutdown is key. If we really want to change America, this could be our very best opportunity. You know who will get in the way, though? Republicans. So please call your senator and call your congressman and tell them, do not negotiate and try to quote-unquote unify to this bill. Stay away from it. Don't continue the government for right now. Start firing. There were some people saying that we should fire 50 to 75% of workforce in government. Now, I don't know what that answer is, but I do believe Vivek and Elon and Trump all said that government is way too big. And this may be the only time that we can actually start cutting, because now we have leverage versus the Schumer shutdown. This is key. Shut it down, keep it shut down, and start absolutely dismantling a lot of this government. I love this statement, and I shared it on Facebook. The thing that's worse than a government shutdown is the government being open. And sadly, I believe that. I'm sorry. Our government's too big, and it doesn't work right. We need to change it. Let's go to Walmart and now our school system. There's two stories that came out. This is from Epic Times. It says, healthier school lunch movements are starting to gain momentum. Now, I want to stop here just for a second. This is kind of like the movement towards, loving families again, America Pride. It's like, why did we ever lose that? We shouldn't have never lost it. So same way with this. We see a healthier school lunch movement where people get better quality food, that our kids can have better quality foods. Now, why would we want to feed our kids crappy food in the first place? Now, we homeschool. I don't even like anything about the school system, but I digress. Most people are in the school systems. And so now you're starting to see, they said 5 to 7 states are basing K through 12 public schooling on better, healthier lunches, trying to take over the RFK initiative to get away from this traditional carb-heavy, no protein, junk soy food. Well, again, we should have never left the Whole Foods anyway. But I love to see that states are doing it. Now, the sad thing is only 5 to 7 states. Where's the other states? Where's the other Republican states? Where's the other conservative libertarian states? Where are the people saying that we need to feed our children the best quality food? Because ultimately, our kids' health is going to be a problem. And if we allow our kids to eat junk food and unhealthy food, what we're doing is making healthcare cost way more as we get older. Remember, the only way Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid works is that the younger generation is healthy enough to get in the workforce. Well, that goes back to the whole story of how big do we want government. If we want healthy kids to actually be able to work and be engineers and entrepreneurs and business leaders, we have to make sure it starts at the ground level to where they're getting healthier options. If we're feeding them soy and carbs and breads and cereals and all this garbage, we put garbage in, we're going to get garbage out. That's a hard thing to say, but ultimately, if you're feeding your kids this garbage, then you don't expect much from them. If you're feeding them soy all the time, especially for boys, you're killing them. I mean, you're literally taking away their testosterone and basically replacing it to make them lazy and lackadaisical. We need foods to thrive. So I love the fact that 5 to 7 states are embracing this. Now, there's another story that I think that's even bigger than this, and it's Walmart. Now, Walmart, sometimes they try to sway with the politics. Again, I understand. It is what it is. It's a business move, but I love this move. This is breaking. Walmart is now eliminating all artificial food dyes from its store brand products. So you're starting to see the cheaper options of food. I love that. Organic doesn't sometimes mean organic. I know that. But I love the fact that Whole Foods, Walmart, Kroger, Costco, they have organic brands that they personally subsidize, so it's a lower economical way that people can buy healthier foods. Not quote-unquote name brand, but they are organic or non-spray. That's what we're hoping for anyway. What I love to see, though, is that Walmart is not only saying, well, yes, we won't have the organic option, but like the cheaper options, like the Great Values, the food clubs, the things that are store-oriented, they're saying we're going to start taking food dyes and artificial ingredients out of that. That's great, because if you go to Walmart right now and you look on the back of the package, mostly everything that's got preservatives in it, it says at the bottom, contains bioengineered ingredients. It also has a list of ingredients that you don't even know what it is. So this is a great move. Now, this is not going to happen overnight. Now, here's the key. Here's the key. We need to be happy with what Walmart's doing, but we need to push them to actually not only announce it, but actually do it. Now, here's what I mean. If they say this initiative's for 2028, 2030, well, that sounds good, doesn't it? But there's going to be a new president by 2028. We hope it's J.D. Vance or a conservative DeSantis or Rubio or whomever that you want to put in there, XYZ, a conservative. So we would hope this initiative will keep on going. But what I don't want to see is all these companies be like, yes, patriotic, American pride, we're going to start changing everything about our brands, and we're going to do it over the next 4 to 5 years. Well, are they going to do it? You know, is it just talking to get marketing right now to make it look like Americans are going to go start buying again because they're going to support America? It's like NFL. NFL says they're going to support American pride, but then we're still singing a black national anthem, and now we're using, what is his name? Big Bunny, Black Bunny, Bad Bunny, I don't know. Whatever his name is, who's against America, who doesn't know what he is and wears dresses all the time, is not even American. So you see what I'm saying? I want to make sure that people like brands like Walmart and these school lunches, I don't want them to just say they're going to do it. I actually want them to do it. So this is good news, but we need to hold pressure to them, and RFK needs to hold pressure to them and say, okay, look, we're here to help you. We want to make it quicker. But no matter what, and whoever comes in power, I want you to hold to this agreement, because our children and our livelihoods, our people, are at risk because we're eating this trash food. If bioengineered or these ingredients are on the back of these packages and you don't even know what they are, look them up. It will blow your mind. Did you know that the same thing that's in pickle juice, they'll say, oh, pickles are safe. There's like 4 ingredients. Yeah, but the one ingredient, polysorbonate, you know what that is? They use that same material to make yoga mats and flip-flops. You want to eat that? Margarine. We want this margarine because butter's too hard. It's too hard, so we need margarine because it's easier to spread. That's just a byproduct of the gas and the oil that you're putting in your car. Oh, we need those energy drinks. We want to take those energy drinks. They're good. They're healthy. They don't have sugar in them. Yeah, but that cyanobinamine or whatever it is at the back, that's like the fluff and the froth off of sewage water that they take and reuse. Gross. So artificial dyes, artificial colorings, using this garbage stuff to make our food system is terrible. I love that RFK is putting pressure, and I love the fact that these companies are coming around. Now, I don't want them to just talk about it. I want them to actually do it. I don't want the school lunches to be, oh, well, we're going to change it for 5 schools. I want Trump to say, we're either going to dismantle it, you're not going to get any money, we're going to use this leverage against you. If the states want money for public education, you clean your food system up and you start teaching math and science again and not indoctrination. This is the perfect time to do this. This shutdown could do all this because it gives Trump leverage that sometimes he doesn't have when it comes to the judiciary and also the Senate Congress. That's your 2 parts of the government right now that's causing us the most problem, is those 2 branches. And both of those branches are doing it to themselves because they're the ones that do the spending. They're the ones who set the law, and the judicials that are activists that we're like, oh, they're terrible. Remember, they were the ones appointed by the president, you know, Obama, Biden, or whatever, but guess who approved them? Your Senate and Congress. So really, all these problems that we face, it's a Senate and Congress problem. So when they come and they try to go to your towns and shake your hands and kiss your babies and tell you how much they're working for you, to be honest with you, they're lying to you. They're just taking advantage of you. I want to read a few quotes from founding fathers, Thomas Jefferson and Ben Franklin. I shared this one yesterday. Thomas Jefferson said, I predict future happiness for Americans if they prevent the government from wasting the labors of the people under the pretense of taking care of them. That speaks volumes. What that's saying is if you overtax your people and you cause mischief for your people, and it's in the name of protection to keep you safe, he said that's a failing government. And he said that's a government that's actually a tyrant. What is our government trying to do in the shutdown? They're trying to spend more of your money. Take your labors, take your money, take your livelihood to give to someone else. That's what you call a tyrant. That's one of our founding fathers said that. Listen to else what he said. He said, most bad government has grown out of too much government. That was another Thomas Jefferson quote. He said the problem with government, when they are quote unquote bad government, he says it's just because it's way too much government. He said government was meant to be the fail-safe. It was meant to be the fallback, the emergency option, not the leader of the world, not the one that provides the most jobs, not the one that provides all your health care, not the one that provides all your food, not the one that do all this. He said they were never set to be. He said usually that's why they're bad governments, because they're too much of one government. It's a control element. Sadly, he didn't trust people. He didn't trust himself. He didn't trust anyone to say that men can rule over other men. The whole point was freedom and liberty. And then lastly, I love this comment by Ben Franklin. If we would go back to some of the founding fathers, I know some of their views on theism and God were kind of unique, but they had a passion to have freedom and liberty. I want you to listen to this. I love this. And you've heard this. It's a cliche statement, but it was Ben Franklin. Any society that will give up a little liberty to gain a little security will deserve neither and lose both. What we saw from 2020 until now, I mean, we saw it in the 60s and 70s, but we see it more now than ever. The more that we have problems, we look to government to fix it. The more we look to government to fix it, we lose a little bit of freedom, quote unquote, for a little bit more security, for them to give us some more money, for them to give us some kind of handout, for them to subsidize. Like I heard the Arkansas farmers are all up in arms. They want, government help. And I'm like, you know what? But when you get that government help, it comes with a little thing at the end called government assistance means dependency. When we're willing to give up our freedom for security, what Ben Franklin says is actually you lose them both because they don't go hand in hand. Freedom comes independence and sustainability. The reason we grow all these gardens, the reason we do this is because I don't want to worry about what Walmart's putting in their food. I don't want to have to go and have to buy something. I don't want to have to go and send my kids to indoctrination camps. I don't want to have to go buy a $100,000 automobile and then look for government to give me more money and because I can't make it. I need stimulus. Well, sometimes it's probably us causing our own problem. We elect these people. Like I told someone the other day, I said, as much as we hate Congress and Senate, do you realize they have the worst approval rating, sometimes 17, 20, 25%, 30%. However, if we did a poll, if we elected them right now, if we had another election for every Senate and Congress right now, today, they said 90% of people would go back into office. The same people that we don't like. Why? Because we're disassociated with it. We don't think the Congress and Senate have any power. They actually have way more power than you can imagine. And they're the ones that's causing the issues. They're the ones that's causing the hiccups for the administration to do more. Republicans are holding up a lot of Trump's appointments. Republicans are not helping Trump when it comes to making sure things go smoothly. It's not just Democrats. It's the establishment. It's the whole thing. So guys, we need to take words from our founding fathers. Too much government means bad government. The more they take from us in the name of security, the more they're tyrants. And what we realize is freedom and liberty does cost. It does take work. It does take learning independence, but it also takes responsibility. And if we take that by the bull by the horns, we can do this again and we can make America truly great. Guys, let me know your thoughts on today's video. God bless. Yeah.